We do a variety of a lot of stuff. I mean, we use kettlebells, and body weight are huge, but I mean, we use everything from sandbags to heavy bands to battle ropes, tires,
Yeah.
medicine balls, suspension trainers, all different types of stuff that we'll incorporate into the workouts. I would say, one thing that I wanted to just bring up, on this call, and I think this kind of ties in with the questions that we're talking about, is that, and this is kind of in contrast to the challenge workout thing, but some people, a lot of people these days, I think, are getting into changing their workouts too much.
A little too
You know,
often, huh?
too often. I think you
Yeah.
get like to where you hear all this stuff about muscle confusion, and you have to change your workouts to keep them. And I'm guilty of it too. I have workout ADD. I get bored doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But really, like, I know for myself, and just like anecdotal evidence working with over 1,000 clients, I counted it up the other day, over the years, is that if you can, at least for 4 to 6 weeks, stick with this with a well designed and thoughtfully programmed workout, that you get so much better results. So that's to answer your question. That's how I try to generally program my workouts over time when I'm
Gotcha.
at the facility. And for
Yes.
myself, yeah.
So how does that
Okay.
how does that translate? So somebody's listening at home, maybe they got some simple equipment, body weight and kettlebells. How do you systematize that programming and then also incorporate the randomness from something like a challenge workout?
Well, I would say, let's say, like, I always like to work in like 4 week blocks, because that's enough time
Sure.
to, see some progress. And I should say this too: the reason why you don't want to change it up too often, because if you change it every single time, you have no chance to see if you're getting better at anything.
Right.
Like, you can't see if your weights are going up, you can't see if your conditioning is really improving. So yeah, I mean, what you could do is you could take a workout, like a 4 week workout. So basically, what, like, the way I program the workouts at our studio is, we'll go for 4 weeks, and maybe you have like an A workout and a B workout. So people are working out 3 times a week. Maybe they alternate the A workout, B workout, A workout, B
Sure.
workout, or every other day. Whatever fits their schedules. That's fine. And then maybe at the end of the month, you do a challenge workout, and then you go back to your your A and B schedule for the next month with a new program working towards a slightly different goal.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do a challenge workout at the end again, and see if you've improved.
I like that. That's simple. It's simple because a lot of times we hear these people talking about periodization and like all this exact percentages, but you walk into, a gym and you're tired and you didn't sleep and you're supposed to lift, 95% for 5 sets of 2. Like, it's just not going to happen. I have a term I use called flow-gramming, which is programming where you kind of can work a little bit on the fly as well, because sometimes people just
Yeah.
don't feel good. We're not pro athletes. We don't have consistent
It's true.
sleep and environments.
And that's the thing about it too. I think, like, coming from the background that I did, is that they would really periodize and get really specific
Right.
with the way the workouts were, and that's good. If you're like a pro athlete
Right.
or a high level athlete, you need that. It's like, you need the little edge. Like, everybody's everyone's really close. You're just trying to get the edge. But for your general person who's trying to feel good, lose body fat, gain some lean muscle, feel better every day, I don't really think it's really necessary. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Well
your life's
true.
going to come up. You don't need to, like, schedule in an off week every 12 weeks, because you're probably going to miss a couple workouts every once in a while, and that builds itself in.
The unscheduled off week.
Yes, exactly.
I've been there. I've been there. With a baby, I've been there. You know
Yeah, I
that.
bet. I'm
Oh,
sure.
man. All right. Well, okay. So we talked a lot about kettlebells and working out and stuff like that. Let's dig into some other stuff. So you kind of specialize in helping people transform their physiques at your gym. What do you do with your nutrition? What do you guys recommend? Where do you start people, and where do you hopefully end up getting to get them?
We when people come in, we see where they're at nutrition wise by having them keep a food log. We look at specifically what they're doing in the weekdays and the weekend days. We work with them from where they're at and get them to where they want to be, into a way that's something that's realistic for them,
Sure.
but something that's also going to help them get to their goals. What I thought I would share here is, I actually just did a talk. This is for a charity thing that we had going on in the community, and it was on nutrition lies that are making you sick and fat.
Right. Right.
So I thought I'd share with you guys maybe the top 3
Yeah.
that people like.
Let's hear them. I'd love to hear that.
So the number one, these were like the ones that were really people resonated with, it were the most popular, was that you have to count calories to lose weight.
Right.
A lot of people think that you have to meticulously count calories, and to some extent, that's partially true,
Yeah.
right? But I think it's also incomplete in
Yeah.
the sense that what you eat certainly makes you feel a certain way. If you're eating low quality foods and you're eating processed carbohydrate and stuff like that, if you have you're going to be a lot more hungry than if you're eating a little higher fat, a little higher
Yeah.
protein,
Sure. Sure.
type
Yeah.
of base diet. So
Yeah.
that was a number one.
Yeah, well, let me interrupt you there
Yeah.
real quick because that's
Yeah.
so funny. I've had some bodybuilders on the call, some people who really are trying to get down to that elite percentage, and I'd like to kind of relate the periodization, the specific periodization, with the calorie counting, because to me, that's what gets you to that last little bit, right? So if you're a bodybuilder and you're going from 8% to 4%, that's when you really need to count calories, not because a calorie is a calorie to every person, but because you need a metric to measure your food intake, right? And so that's when that's useful. But if you guys are listening to the call and you're 15% body fat, well, guess what? There's some simple principles that will get you down to around 10%. And then you can start playing with the more challenging stuff. So I just wanted to interrupt you with that because there is a time and a place for it. And it's usually to squeeze that last 5% out of you. It's not to start the process like you're saying.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I mean, most people have so many like useless calories, for lack of a better term, in their diet.
Right.
Stuff that they eat that really has no purpose except for, well, it tastes good, but
Right, yeah. It's endorphins.
and I mean, I'm sure the people that will argue like everything else is related to nutrition. I think there was some story about a professor that had ate, just to prove the point that it does indeed come down to calories only. He ate Twinkies.
Yeah.
For his diet. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
His diet only. And he did lose weight, but that guy, I'm sure, has way more discipline than most people. He must have been starving and feeling like
well,
shit
that and he became a type 2 diabetic probably in the process.
Yeah, seriously.
Right? Anyways, okay, so number two. What's number two?
So number two, so this probably goes against our whole topic of our call, but it's exercise is the best way to lose weight. That was our number two. So
yeah, no, I feel
and the reason what I said is basically it depends for some people like endurance athletes that are literally training 2 or 3 hours a day.
Right.
Or like someone if you're riding your bike or running or swimming literally double days 2 or 3 hours a day, or when we were in training camp and playing football, there's no possible way that you could gain weight during that period because you're burning so many calories. But the average person, even that's fit, an adult, is still only working out, 4 or 5 times a week for 45 minutes. And at the end of the day, it's just not that many calories that you're burning,
Yeah.
Now, there's a million other reasons why you want to work out.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not saying don't train, I mean, there's
sure.
but just when you're just talking about weight loss, the point was that you have to also, your diet's got to be a humongous focus.
It's huge. It's just a giant component of it. I mean, it's almost like the exercise gets you the long-term results and the diet gets you the short-term results. And if you really lock in the diet and then also lock in the exercise, that's when you kind of combine them for that synergistic ability to give you that long-term transformation.
Definitely.
Oh man, what's number 3?
Number 3 was that fat, as in dietary fat,
yeah.
makes you fat.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one. I could talk about that one all day long. Well, for the listeners, give us the rundown on that one.
The basic rundown is that it doesn't, and it's
Right.
that it's good. You need fat. In fact, you need fat and protein are the two actual, and this is probably getting a little more controversial, but fat and protein are actually the two only really essential macronutrients, right?
Sure.
You can actually, there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. So fat and protein are the only essential macronutrients. But that being said, I'm saying you need to eat vegetables, you need to eat fruit, you need to eat stuff like that. But and people still have it in their mind that they want to try to cut the fat out of their diet, and even saturated fat now, right? I mean, the jury's probably out a little bit on that, depending on the source and stuff. But most people are saying saturated fat's good, right? It's okay to have it in certain instances and dosages. Trans fat's bad. We don't want to eat that. But
yeah,
but
it's man-made.
Right. But the point is that people can't be scared, especially good fat sources. People can't be scared of eating fat. And it's actually
Totally.
good. It accelerates fat loss in many cases.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I like those three. Those are three good tips that you shared right there. Okay, let's dig into one more aspect. I really like to kind of always touch on base with people about kind of what I consider the three pillars of body transformation, which is the exercise, the nutrition, but also the recovery side of things, because way too many people just want to go, 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 and they want to eat nothing in the world. But I've seen too many people just fail and crash and burn. So I really like to touch on recovery. So what's your tactics to helping your clients recover better? What's your tactics for you personally recovering better? And then maybe kind of share with us how you guys recovered really well in the NFL, because you guys are working big time there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I would say the first thing that I have been doing for the last 4 years, maybe, that's really helped me. I wish I was doing this stuff back when I played in the NFL, but
Sure.
is like a daily morning joint mobility session. It's like super simple.
Yeah.
It takes like 5 or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's like amazing the difference, like physically recovery, just like mental alertness that I get from doing that. So,
Yeah.
I do that in the morning, and we do that we work that into as part of our warm up,
Sure.
during training. And then, so I would say that's probably like the number one thing. And then number two thing is like sleep, but then also like quality of sleep and
Yeah.
being able to do things like eliminate screen time, like a couple hours before you go to bed is a
Yeah.
huge thing. Like I still work on that with myself,
Yeah,
you know,
sure. You know,
but
type on the laptop till the wee hours.
oh, totally. But because I always got different projects and stuff that I'm working on. But like, I know when I get like off no screen time for an hour or two before bed, it makes a huge difference. And then also quality of sleep, right? And being able to have the ability, like reading a fiction book before bed, making
Yeah.
sure your sleep surroundings are good. You probably you're sitting here like. Thinking about sleep and like you just had a baby not too long ago. You're not probably getting the most sleep.
Yeah, you keep talking about sleep. I'll nod off for a little while.
But it's
Yeah,
huge for recovery though.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so though, and then you said like, what type of stuff did we do in the NFL for recovery?
Yeah, yeah. What are the pro secrets to just not
Oh man,
destroying yourself?